I'm Minahil Fatima from Pakistan Connect, and today we have Anas Mallick with us, a senior journalist who is in Istanbul right now, where Pakistan and Afghanistan talks ended without any progress. So I would like to share your opinion. How do you see this?
But I think the talks have remained inconclusive between Pakistan and the Afghan Taliban regime. And the Pakistani delegation has now departed, both the delegation and the delegation lead, the National Security Advisor of Pakistan. He has also departed from Istanbul. The talks that started with cautious optimism, and when I use the word cautious optimism, it was primarily because the Pakistani side wants to give diplomacy, dialogue, peace a chance, and something that Taliban have been shying away from. They've been undermining Pakistan's quest and Pakistan's determination for peace and stability. They've been trying to wrong the Pakistani government or policy thinkers. The Pakistani delegation, that was a seven-member delegation comprising of officials from the senior intelligence side, military side, and of course senior officials from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs as well. They sat down, they held in-brief talks. There were direct talks, there were indirect talks. This is the third round of negotiations that have happened in Istanbul, but the third round has remained inconclusive. If sources are to be believed, and what we understand is that Islamabad wants to give peace a chance, and Islamabad is persistent that it would prefer dialogue and diplomacy over conflict and violence. The reason, the process to break the deadlock, the stalemate that has been there, the process to sort of get over the stalled process of talks, that will continue in a bid to seemingly break the deadlock. But for now, the process is stalled, the deadlock continues, and the onus solely lies on the Taliban. Minahil?
Sir, according to your information, what do you think the Taliban as you mentioned that it was a third round. So do you think that they're using delaying tactics?
That's number one. And number two is the fact that they feel less empowered. The composition of the delegation was as such that while they were, while they were seemingly a high-level delegation, yet they would be consulting every now and then Kabul and Kandahar. Those consultations did not happen as much as it did the last time, because the last time when the Pakistan delegation submitted its comprehensive proposal, the Taliban were seemingly underprepared. They were not expecting, they were caught by surprise, and the reason they took 13 hours to study the Pakistani proposal and come up with their counter-proposal in response. So it can be seen as a delaying tactic. It can be seen as a delegation that is less empowered, that is only on paper, that does not hold any true values or any true significance when it comes to decision taking. And the reason it has to go back and forth, two people in Kabul and Kandahar consulting and seeking their advice on what needs to be done. The reason, as I said, we're seeing the talks having remained inconclusive. We're expecting the process of talks to continue, not immediately, but eventually, in a bid to break down what has led to break down the deadlock, something that has led to the talks having been stalled. Yesterday we were expecting the mediators to submit their own proposals, but of course that was only subject to the Taliban agreeing or adhering to their commitments. The Taliban been illogical, irrational. They've been quite.
They're not cooperative.
To say that they have been, back and there have been a lot of back and forth. They have been indecisive on what they want, and it has been an indication that they might just be on agenda-driven that pace. So all in all, it is a recipe of disaster that the Taliban have been pushing for. But of course, Islamabad, Doha, and Ankara, they want regional peace, they want regional stability. The reason they are preferring dialogue and diplomacy over conflict.
Moving forward to the deadlock between Pakistan and Afghanistan talks, and keeping in view the Pakistan's role in keeping the regional peace, maintaining the regional peace, what do you think that how would Pakistan move forward with this now?
Well, as I said, the round of talks will continue. There will be there will be a seeming or a calculated effort to end the deadlock. But Islamabad has made its position clear as well. We saw the statement coming in just as the talks were on the verge of, being having remain inconclusive or being called off for this particular round. We saw that statement coming in from the Pakistani information minister, who's made Islamabad's policy line very, very clear that Islamabad will do all what it takes to safeguard its, and it shall exercise all the resources it has to ensure safeguarding not just of its citizens, but its sovereignty as well. So that's a very clear-cut indicator as to what Islamabad plans on going forward with. As I said, this is something, the demand on the part of Islamabad has been there for a while. When I say the word for a while, for the past 4 years, we have to understand that there has been an exponential increase in incidents of terrorism in Pakistan. There have been increase of terrorist incidents by about 700%. There have been increase of suicide bombings in Pakistan by over 400%. This is not Anas Mallick data. This is publicly available data that has been corroborated by different think tanks that ways. So that is something that Islamabad has been asking the Afghan side to put a leash on, because most of these incidents of terrorism have been tracked back to Afghan nationals, where there have been either been overstaying, misusing the Pakistani visa, or just trespassing from the Afghan-Pakistan border into the Pakistani side, where the Taliban have been allowing these terrorist-linked elements not just operate out freely, but enjoy safe havens. And this is not something that only, let alone Islamabad, has been saying. This is something that is very well documented. You go back to the United Nations Security Council's monitoring teams report that was released this February, which said that there are not one, not two, but 27 terrorist organizations that continue to operate from the Afghan soil. You go back just last month, 6th of October, on the sidelines of the Moscow format meeting, we saw that the special representatives on Afghanistan from Pakistan, Iran, China, and Russia, they met in Moscow, and they categorically named these terrorist groups that continue to operate in their joint statement. But the Taliban remain oblivious, but they can do as much as harm by remaining oblivious, not just for themselves, but for the people of Afghanistan, because all what that follows or that ensues is, of course, quite detrimental for relationship and for the neighborhood at large, and of course for the for the region at large as well.
Thank you so much, Anas.